All right, welcome to the channel. Today we're doing a look at two youth-size dirt bikes. So this one on the right, the blue one, is the Yamaha TTR110. And then on the left here we have the Kawasaki. This is the KLX110. Now, these bikes are very similar in size and performance. They look almost identical. Couple little differences. The motors look a little bit different, but the power output's the same. Tire size are the same. And overall, they're almost the same size overall. So we have two kids here. We have Tyson here. Tyson's 12 years old, and we have Zach, who's 10 years old. And now this TTR110, we've actually put a taller seat on it. If you can see here, it doesn't have a seat that goes down as much. It's more of a flat seat, and then it has these pro taper bars, which give it more height. So Tyson, if you sit on your bike, stand up on it. So this bike's probably to the point where it's getting a little too small for Tyson. So I'd say a 110's good for Zach's size. When you start getting 12-year-old and older, you probably want to start looking at the 125, just because Tyson's he has longer legs and he's touching the ground pretty easily. When his feet are up on the pegs, his knees are up high. So this, if you put taller bars on it and a little taller seat, that might get you like an extra year of use out of it. So he'll probably ride it this year, and then maybe next year we'll look at a bigger one. So let's look at the KLX110. We have a full review video on the Yamaha. We're gonna look a little more closely at the KLX110. So this is a 2018. We have the graphics on it. We bought these Monster Energy graphics, which look great. Make it really stand out. It's pretty stock otherwise. We've put these grip donuts here. This kind of helps reduce blisters on your hands. And then we've replaced the rear tire. We replaced that at the end of last year, right, Zach? This is a more aggressive, more for softer sand tire. So jump on your bike, Zach. Let's see how you fit on this one. So stand up on it. Stand up on the ground. Take it off the kickstand. Just kind of put it like. Okay, so Zach's here standing on the ground. Got the kickstand off. This is a pretty good size for him. His feet touch comfortably on the ground, right?
Yeah.
You can almost flat foot on the ground, and you're able to reach the controls very easily. The brakes easily. With the 110, with the KLX, it's a little different in the starting. There's no key. Starting there's just a switch here. It is electric start. So you hit to run, just make sure your gas is on, and then there's just a start switch here. So start it on up. Whereas on the Yamaha has a key, so on and off for the key switch, same type as kill switch, and then it has the run, the start switch here. So the Yamaha does have the safety of having a key if you want to have it protected. Take it out, kids don't get into it, etc. But both also have kickstart too, so that you can start them up with a Kickstarter. So that's nice if you leave the battery on. One thing with the Yamaha is if you leave this key to the on position and you turn the bike off, it's going to drain the battery. And so if you leave that on for a day, the battery's going to be dead in about a day. So these guys are going to do a couple rides up and down the street here. And then we'll have them talk about how the bike feels and so forth. right, so these guys are taking these for a cruise here. Zach, you've been riding this for the last year, and then prior to that, you were riding a Yamaha, not this one, an all stock one. Yeah. So difference-wise, have you noticed or felt any difference in the Yamaha versus the Kawasaki?
Not really. I mean, maybe a slight difference, but not totally big differences in them.
Like when you're riding it, it probably feels the same, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the seat position, the handlebars all feel the same. I'd say if your kid's within like that age, like 8 to 11, this would be a good bike to go. I mean, even though a 12-year-old can ride these bikes, I mean, even an adult can ride these bikes, so that's not a problem. But, you know, to be able to comfortably fit in it and ride it if you're doing like long-term or, you know, long trail rides and things like that, you want to be comfortable on it. 8 to 11, that's a good starting point for this. The Kawasaki, we found this one's a 2018, that one's a 16. I would say if you're in the market for one of these, I would say try to find one that you can get the best deal on, because I'd even look at the Honda. The Honda has the CRF110. Those three bikes are very similar as far as size, power, the controls, operation, how your kid's going to feel on them. It seems like the Hondas were a little higher in price, and their resale value was a little higher. The Kawasaki seemed to be a little bit cheaper than all of the bikes by maybe a few $100 on the used market. We bought these, you know, pre-owned from just, you know, people selling them locally. So I would say if you're looking at one of these bikes, find the one you can get the best deal on. And we've had a couple of Yamahas. We have a dealer just right up the street from us, like a mile away from our house, that sells Yamahas. So parts are easy to get for them. So I think that's maybe why we've had a couple more of those than the Kawasaki. But online, you can get all the parts you need for these. Maintenance is super easy. There's not a whole lot of maintenance. We probably need to change the oil. We'll do an oil change video on the Kawasaki and the Yamaha. Just get them ready for the summer. Okay, hopefully that gives you some good information on these 110s. We've had good success with this Kawasaki and the Yamaha. I think I would recommend whichever one you get the better deal on. That way, when it comes to resale, you know, you can resell them. They hold their value pretty well. They all have this automatic clutch shifting, so they're just 4 gears up. There's no clutch involved, so you shift, but there's no clutch, which makes it easy for kids to kind of get started. Now, that shifter is a little harder, being that it also disengages the clutch as you're shifting. So it's a little harder than if it was a manual clutch on that. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to stay tuned for more updates, more dirt bike videos. We're going to do some maintenance and tune-up on this bike, and hope to have a fun riding season this year. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.